Hello and welcome to another episode on Rosecast. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that has come up and as good as other times. I was talking to my mom, and while in the conversation she brought up this topic once again. In my heart I was like, wow, this is a topic I wanted to share. So based on that, I felt encouraged that this is a topic that needed to be shared. So let's ride on. Now, first of all, we're going to go into a chameleon. I don't know, at least you know that a chameleon is not an animal that you don't know about. A chameleon is a reptile in which some of its species has the ability to change colors depending on temperature, depending on where they are. Some chameleons change colors because they want to hide from predators. I remember when I was very, very young, I was very fascinated by the chameleon because of how sluggish it looked and how, interestingly ugly it was, and how interestingly strange it was. Like, it just looked so strange. And then the main thing that made me so fascinated by the chameleon was its ability to change color. I could watch how it gradually changed color to where it was, like where it moved to, and then it was so slow. But some people say they move fast, but it moves so slow. Chameleon is a very strangely beautiful animal. However, that ability to change color is something that very few animals can do. I don't even know if another animal can do that except the chameleon. So whenever we want to use it in a speech or figuratively, when you call someone a chameleon, it means someone that changes their stance, changes their personality, changes themselves. Actually just refers to a person that is not stable. So if somebody calls you a chameleon, it's not a compliment. It's not. And if you use a chameleon, or if you use it towards someone else, it is not a compliment. Now, if I were to go to the aspect of identity, we need to create an identity that is consistent. We need to be people that are authentic. We need to be people that understand what principles mean. So when a person does not understand principles and authenticity, this is what happens, and this is what causes them to change their stance based on their preferred desire or based on situation. Now, there are people that do this because they feel inferior, they have inferiority complex, and they just want to move with the crowd, they just want to belong. And then there are those who actually do it because they want to manipulate and use other people. Now, both sides are not too innocent, because it means that they can easily blend into situations without taking responsibility for their actions. So it's more like changing your stance. To fit a situation, and that is very, very unhealthy, because it means you want other people to take responsibility for actions that you also participated in. Now, when you have not defined your principles, when you have not defined rules that govern your life, when you have not created a stance, what am I going to do in this situation? How am I going to respond? What are my principles? You quickly formulate things that you can actually use to replace why you want to do things. Now, if you navigate and you feel that situation is going to favor you, even though it's not something you should encourage, as long as it's going to favor you, then you quickly blend in with that. So that is a very unstable personality, a very unstable way to relate. You quickly learn it things as long as they fit your agenda, as long as there are things that will benefit you. Now you may ask, is it wrong for me to be part of things that will benefit me? No, it's not wrong to be part of something that will benefit you in a healthy way. But what I mean is that not being able to have a consistent stand on who you are does not give a clear value to people around you. Now, if you're someone that is not clear, you give mixed signals to people around you. Now, people do not know who you are because you can easily change your stance on things. So you do not give people the ability to understand how to relate with you because you are always changing your stance. So this is not a healthy way. And doing this, I think people do it because they just want to always be able to control how people behave or how people see them. They always want to be able to control situations. So if people already know your stance on things, if it's something that they know they don't have to include you, they can easily not include you. And this also gives the person, I'm not saying you sorry, but this gives the person, or if it is you, the ability to be in control. And am I saying is it wrong to have control? No, but like I said, it's good to always have a clear signal to people around you, lest they know who you are and they know what they are dealing with. Now, the thing is that displaying this character does not necessarily mean you are not someone that, you are someone that tells lies. You may be someone that actually tells the truth, but it means that in a generality of who you are not a stable person. You do not make stable choices, and at the end of the day, it actually appears as you being a dishonest person. And there are other people that also tell lies, they are dishonest, just for the sake of their purpose. Now, the generality of everything is the fact that this personality or this chameleon kind of attitude is mainly a very selfish way of living, more like you are looking out for only your gain in every relationship. If you are in a business, if you are relating with people, if you are a student, you are only looking out for your own gain. You are only looking out for your own good. And sometimes, in order to get that, you may have to step on other people by not being very sincere with who you are. In life, as much as we are looking for our own good, there are times when we just have to, consider somebody else. We have to think about other people and wonder, will my decision affect them in a negative way? Even if this is going to benefit me, would it not hurt somebody in a very wrong way? Maybe I should consider my decision. But no, some people are only looking out for their own good, for their own purpose, and because of that, they will do all things as much as possible to get to that place. So the main thing about this chameleon attitude is the fact that you can never know who this person is. Now I've changed it to another pronoun. Or you always know how to hide yourself. People don't get to know you. People don't know who you are, because 1 minute you are here saying you do not participate in such a thing, and in the next minute you are participating in it with people that you said you would not participate in it with. And when you are confronted about it, you get to have a tangible reason why you are doing that. So people don't get to know, who is this person I'm relating with? Who are you? What do you really stand for? And also, one other thing about personality is being able to use, knowing the right words to say, knowing the right things to do in order to just get that thing. It's so beautiful that this group set of people know exactly what to do to get what they want, because they just have that agenda in their heart. Now, another negative thing I noticed again, and this is kind of very paradoxical, is that when you are not authentic, when you don't really know about yourself very well, it's easy for you to encourage negative attitudes about yourself. It's like you can call this reverse humility. Magnifying your weaknesses in order to appear humble. Now some people never ever magnify, never ever admit they have weaknesses. They always know it, they always have the right answer, they always know what's happening. They never have weakness. And then there are those who magnify their weaknesses. These two situations are not very healthy. They are not really healthy, because when you don't even admit that you have a weakness, you kind of give a false sense of representation to other people. More like you don't ever have a problem. But when you magnify your weakness, you always present yourself as someone that is humble, but that is not humility. It's good for us to know that yes, we have weaknesses, and yes, but that doesn't mean that we should magnify them all the time, every time we have an opportunity, and also does not mean that we should pretend that they are not there. Now, when we look at the Bible in Matthew chapter 5 verse 27, Jesus said here, "Let your yes be yes, and let your no be no." It's a different thing maybe if you've always said yes for a particular thing, and then along the line you had a retrospection and you realized that maybe your yes was not the right yes, it was supposed to be no. No, in this situation, when you change it to a no, it remains now as no, because you now understand why you need to say no. However, when your yes is yes in situations that will favor you, and it becomes a no in other situations that will favor you, then that is a chameleon personality displaying itself. Let your yes be yes, and let your no be no, and have good reasons to why it is. When you have good reasons for why it is that way, it will strengthen it no matter where you go. You are yes or you are no for that situation. Another verse again is Revelation chapter 3 verse 16. There God was saying that pick one, be either hot or cold. No, don't be in between. Don't be sitting on the fence. If not, I'm going to spit you out. So I remember when I first read that verse at a young age, it really, really touched me. And over the years, as I've navigated my personality, my relationship, I found myself going back to that verse to look at my life. Am I being a sincere person? Am I being sincere with God? Am I being sincere with my relationship? And it means that God wants you to pick one side. Pick one side. When we're relating with people, we need to know where we stand. Now you may say, I'm not a pretender. But do you interact with pretenders at a very close level? One thing I've noticed, I say personally for myself, I realized that people I spend ample time with have a way of rubbing off their personality on me. It happens subconsciously, and especially if it's a negative personality that has been portrayed over a long time, I get to find myself repeating that personality. And so because of that, I'm very cautious of the people I relate with or spend a lot of time with, because they have that happens. And so because of that, I am very cautious of that. So maybe you're someone that has a very strong character, and for you feel you're not bothered by that, or you are someone that is like me. No matter what, you need to watch people you spend too many time with, and kind of personality they display, kind of attitude they display, the kind of jokes they make about changing your stand and controlling and manipulating people. If you are with people that do that, it's a matter of time before you start doing the same thing. In Psalm 26 verse 4, the psalmist David here was saying, I do not sit with deceitful people, I do not stay with pretenders. And if you read the book of Psalm chapter 1, dear David was clearly talking about the characteristic of a righteous man. And a righteous man is one who is very cautious of people that are, his close cycle. It doesn't mean you don't relate to people in workplace or school place, but what I mean is people you are close to. If there are people that encourage this kind of personality, it will rub off on you one way or the other. So if you're someone that changes your stand because you want to manipulate people or you want to be in control, change. Change. Even if you are doing it without, it's something that you are used to, you need to change. And even if you feel so stubborn about it, you need to change. The fact that you are listening to this podcast at this time means that yes, you need to change, because that's not a healthy way to live. And it's only a matter of time before this attitude will backfire on you and you're going to reap the consequences of your action. And if you're someone that's dealing with inferiority complex, I need to tell you that you need to spend time with God to know your worth, in order to realize that you are unique and you do not need to manipulate or change your personality in order to fit into a crowd. It may be hard to find your good crowd, but yes, your crowd or where you fit in exists. It just happens you've not found them or they've not found you. So unless you understand who you are, what your purpose on earth is, you would always change your personality to fit a box, to fit a crowd. And the sad thing is that you will never be satisfied because you are always trying to blend in, and that is so stressful. Emotionally, mentally, you're always trying to fit in. So unless you understand who you are going to stress yourself badly out. Now, building an authentic personality does not happen in a day. It happens over years with the kind of decisions that you make, the kind of, your understanding who you are and knowing your purpose. As you walk in this every day, you create a personality that is authentic. So whether you travel to Europe, whether you're in Africa, when you go to Antarctica or go outside the moon, people know this is who you are. People around you or people that have experienced you can say, yes, this is who this person is. This is where they say yes and this is where they say no. And like I said, as you mature, maybe some of your yes may become no and some of your no may become yes, when you have a true understanding of why you say yes in certain situations and why you say no in some other situations. So I don't know if I talked about everything in this podcast, but I do think I talked about what I needed to share. So as an outro, thank you for listening to this podcast. Each of the parts were kind of very small because I was trying to avoid interruptions. Yet I don't think I completely avoided them. So I do think if I missed anything in this podcast, kindly let me know after you listen. And if you want to share your comments on this podcast, kindly do share. And yes, if you enjoy this podcast, please share away. I also learned that you could actually download the audios to listen later. So download away and share to people that you believe they would need it. If there was any noise in the background, disturbance, please pardon me. Please pardon me. So thank you for listening to this episode of Rosecast. Until next time, stay safe and God bless.